Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up. Fight back, man. Fight back. Fight back. Fight back.
Hailing from and representing Fajardo, Puerto Rico. He weighed in at 139 1/4 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the hard-hitting knockout artist, introducing El Orgullo de Maternillo, Subriel Matias.
Puerto Rico has given rise to some of the most electrifying fighters the world has ever seen. For example, Wilfredo Gomez, a 3-division champion known as one of the best super bantamweight fighters ever, defended his title an impressive 17 times. Wilfred Benitez, a 3-division champion known for his defensive skills and being the youngest world champion in boxing history, accomplishing this accolade at 17. And Tito Trinidad, one of the most successful and beloved fighters in Puerto Rican history, another 3-division champion known for his powerful punches and resilience. Subriel Matias was born March 31st, 1992. His parents, though private about their lives, played a crucial role in his development both in and out of the ring. Although Fajardo, Puerto Rico, boasts some of the most stunning coastal landscapes and beaches, it is also a place where the contrast between tourist areas and local living conditions can be evident. That being said, Fajardo, like many parts of Puerto Rico, has a strong sense of community and vibrant cultural traditions. Festivals and community events are common. Now, they say the path to greatness is paved through tribulations. And for Subriel Matias, this narrative will be no different.
Del 2012 me impactan con dos balas. Me tiraron más de 30, 40 tiros, 2 individuos. Y cuando me percato de las piernas, pues tenía dos buenos rotos que me habían impactado una de las balas. Justamente el ingreso a la cárcel federal allí de Puerto Rico. Creo que gracias a Dios, ¿verdad? Por eso estamos hoy en día aquí libres.
A resilient Matias had been a force in the amateurs, winning 80 of 100 fights. He also won the Isaac Barrientos tournament and even earned a silver medal at the Cheo Aponte tournament, highlighting his prowess in the sport. Unfortunately, again, the very year he would turn pro, another senseless act of violence would ricochet through the destiny of his legacy. In 2015, just months before his professional debut, he would lose his brother Yankel to gun violence. In tribute to his brother's unfulfilled dreams of being a boxer, Subriel honors his name across his shorts and wears his smile in a gold medallion, pushing his memory to the forefront of every victory. A wise man once said that hard times make a strong man stronger and a weak man weaker, and the Puerto Rican wasted no time letting us know which one the world made him. In the beginning, every fighter goes through the same growing pains, pushing their bodies, minds, and spirits to the brink in training, only to see it paid off by impatient fans with probing questions about the worthiness of dispatched opponents. And so, July 19th, 2019, the stage was set for Subriel Matias to face his first equally yoked opponent, or at least that was the expectation. Maxim Dadashev was a highly skilled, undefeated Russian boxer puncher with good feet and power that dispatched 11 of his previous 13 opponents. He, like Matias, also suffered the need of validation in their quest for a world title. And so, two hungry upcoming contenders upheld the sport by putting their undefeated records on the line in order to propel their careers up another level. Out of respect for Maxim Dadashev and his family, I will not show any footage of the fight. But I will say this. Dadashev's game plan was to keep Matias at the end of his punches and lure him into traps. Usually a fighter who was shown to come forward, he was not prepared for the relentless pressure of a determined Matias who excels at closing the distance. Seeing that nothing technical was working to discourage Matias from applying pressure, Maxim, being the game dog he was, started taking more risk, but yielding little reward. It became evident later in the fight that Dadashev was perhaps too tough for his own good, as he refused to let his trainer stop the fight. He needed to win. He needed to win for himself and for his family. And he paid the ultimate price trying.
Stop it, Max. Okay? I'm going to stop the fight. Max, I'm going to stop it. Max, you're getting hit too much. You're getting hit too much, Max. Please, Max, please, let me do this, okay? Okay? Look at me. Please. Please, you're getting hit too much, Max. If I don't, they're going to do it. You understand me? If I don't, the referee's going to do it.
The next time you feel the urge to discredit a fighter because he lost a tough fight or didn't perform to your approval, just try and remember the risk and sacrifice these warriors and their families make just to keep us entertained. For Subriel Matias, however, this victory, although hard-earned and deserved, had been tainted by a tragic outcome, and the trauma of this success would imprint on his conscience as he evaluated his own mortality in this dangerous profession. In an interview following the fight, he expressed his condolences to Maxim's family, stating, "I carry Maxim with me. I am not an enemy to the family. It could have just as well been me." And just like when he was shot and when he suffered the loss of his sibling, Matias would evolve from this experience in pursuit of the dream. Subriel Matias, through all the distractions, did his best to remain optimistic about his world champion aspirations. Months later, he brutally knocked out Jonathan Jose Inez in the 5th round. And the fact was, after his fight with Dadashev and his expected impressive KO of Inez, an aura of invincibility was starting to develop amongst his hardcore fan base. And although he was expected to perform in every outing, there was still an abundance of flaws critics eluded will be easy to exploit given the right opponent. Enter Petros Ananian. There's no secret in the boxing world about the durability and fighting prowess of Armenian boxers. And with Subriel's reputation as one of the most dangerous fighters in the 140-pound division quickly gaining traction, finding worthy opponents of any notable name to risk stepping into the ring proved a daunting task. But Armenians are not known to shy away from a violent challenge. And with Petros Ananian also having a come-forward, bullying, apply-pressure, fan-friendly style of fighting, the stage was once again set for what would become an instant classic. Prior to his fight with Petros Ananian, FightHype.com was able to pass on a compliment from the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, Terence Crawford, a former undisputed junior welterweight champion himself, catching Subriel Matias completely by surprise.
Subriel, I had to tell you something Terence Crawford said. He was watching your fight recently, and he said, man, if this guy continues to improve and gets the jab, he's going to be really tough. He's going to be hard to beat. What do you think of that?
Dice que Terence Crawford en una entrevista dijo que si tú continúas esta tren de pelea y si tú sigues así y mejoras ese jab, va a ser un problema. Tú tienes que decir al respecto de eso que Terence Crawford va a hacer presiones de ti.
Terence Crawford, nada más con que me vea es una gran oportunidad, una estrella como él, y yo soy un fiel seguidor de ese hombre. Wow, realmente creo que es más motivación para mí.
I feel honored because I'm a fan of Terence Crawford, so even that he saw me in a fight, I'm very excited.
I can only imagine how such acknowledgement would boost the confidence of an up-and-coming fighter. I mean, the best fighter in the world was watching his fights, but Matias still had to get past Petros, and having left no stone unturned during training, the underdog was none too impressed with the hype buzzing around his next opponent. Subriel Matias, however, perhaps too confident in the task at hand, had a harder camp than usual, crushed under the pressure, and still dealing with the past traumas. It's rumored that he indulged in escapism through substance abuse, lacking in discipline. On February 20th of 2020, the two fighters would engage each other in a bout of back-and-forth brutality. It's important to note that the first 2 rounds would pretty much tell the story of the entire fight, and it went like this. Subriel Matias initiated the confrontation with jabs to the body and head, changing levels. Petros, on the other hand, having a 5-inch arm reach disadvantage, doubled up on his jab to blind Matias before following up with the right. Petros, unlike Subriel's previous opponents, invested in the body in the early rounds, which would pay dividends later as Matias would fatigue in the late rounds, and even was able to push Matias back. The fight would be a back-and-forth affair with both fighters giving and taking punishment in a painful duel of devastation. Matias, seeing that his opponent would not relinquish any ground, increased his output, but his punch variation was lacking as Petros Ananian got closer and closer to landing that overhand right. And then, in the 7th round, it happened. A pitch-perfect overhand right landed perfectly on the chin of the Puerto Rican monster, sending him into a fit of dizziness as Petros landed 3 more clubbing right hands, followed by a left hook that sent Matias reeling to the ropes. The referee, assessing that the ropes had kept Matias from falling, gave Matias a standing 8 count. The armor of invincibility was cracked.
That is being ruled a knockdown, saying that the ropes held him up. Can you believe it?
Now, these are the moments in a man's life that we get to see his nature at its most primal state, having done everything but not enough. The last bit of strength laying like residue at the bottom of the soul, and still the task at hand to finish a war with a man that have the same sacrifice in his eyes for the prize.
All for your winner by unanimous decision,
He pulls the upset. Petros Ananian comes up with the upset win to start the big night of action.
A humbled Matias smiled and congratulated the man who had just handed him his first defeat. Nothing in the world can bring a man to hell like the truth. And for Subriel, the truth was he would never lose another fight in training camp again. Usually, fighting no less than 3 times a year, Matias decided to skip taking a summer bout to refocus, readjust, and rebuild so that he could work through all the homework Petros Ananian had given him to take home.